Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, I hope you're doing pretty well this morning. So it's the day after Labor Day. A little relaxed after the weekend, maybe? All right, well, thank you all so much. Andres, thank you for having me here. The YMCA of Austin is a proud member of CEDAR. And you may ask yourself, well, why is the YMCA getting involved, and why are we here at the Digital 360 Summit? And I'm going to talk to you a bit about that. But what I'd like to do is start with a question for each of you, which is this. How many of you have been a member of the Y, maybe participated in a YMCA program or something at some point in your life? Maybe you learned to swim at the Y. All right, so if you can keep your hands up for one moment for me, please. And then how many of you know somebody who participated in the Y? You know someone who maybe went to a YMCA at one point. All right, okay, lots more hands. And how many of you have heard of the YMCA at some point, right? All right, thank you all for participating in that with me today. So yeah, the YMCA is one of the most recognized brands in the world, actually. And part of that is because we've been around for over 170 years. We started back in London, England. And the first YMCA in the United States was in Boston, which was the Y I was just at before I moved to Austin about 18 months ago. I grew up the road in Dallas, Texas, but I've been out of Texas for about 15 years and very happy to come back here to serve in the YMCA here in Austin. So the YMCA, you know, you may think about the YMCA in terms of swimming, in terms of our fitness facilities, our gyms, in terms of the camps that kids go to. But you may not know that there's a lot more to the YMCA. I'm going to keep remembering to bring my hand over this way. And that actually innovation is in the DNA of the YMCA. There's a lot of things that the YMCA started. There's sports like basketball that was invented at the YMCA. And you can see in this picture here on to your right, that's a picture holding the basketball is a very famous basketball player. Anyone recognize that player there? That's Wilt Chamberlain, who was part of the YMCA in Philadelphia that won the 1953 National YMCA Basketball Championship. Now, it was many decades before that that the YMCA was founded at what became Springfield College, but at the time was the YMCA Training School, where staff and volunteers from all over the world would come to learn about what it meant to go out and help build YMCAs across the world. And while they were there, they created this sport around basketball and spread it around the world as they spread YMCAs around the world. Today, YMCAs are in 120 countries. And so you may ask yourself, well, what is it about sustainability and innovation? Well, let's go back to innovation in the YMCA. So you may know us once again for our gyms and swimming and camping, but you may not know that many night schools and community colleges were started at the YMCA. Where I came from in Boston, Northeastern University was first a YMCA night school, and then it became a university later. In Mexico, there is a university that is run by the YMCA, and there are still many universities with ties to the YMCA. And a few weeks ago, my colleagues and I were all in Aarhus, Denmark, for the YMCA World Council, where 80 countries showed up, members from the YMCA in 80 countries. Now, I want you to imagine bringing people from 80 countries together to vote on a new vision and a strategic plan and to move forward together, and for that vote to be voted on unanimously. Just think about that for a minute. And the common thread within all of this is the work of the YMCA. And one of the core pillars and one of 4 impact areas that was voted on was around sustainability. And I'm going to share some more about that in just a moment. Here in Austin, we're finalizing our strategic plan, and there are 4 impact areas that align with the world vision of 2030. One of them is around quality of life, because we believe that Central Texas can be one of the best places to live, to raise a family, to retire, to experience well-being, both individually and on a community level. We want to provide innovative ways to power the purpose of everyone, from our members, our volunteers, our employees, our community, so that we can improve total health and well-being and create happy, fulfilling lives. Secondly, we're all about young people, about empowering and educating young people. When I think about this fourth industrial revolution, this work around technology, around science, around engineering, around math, it starts at a very young age. And so, as we heard here a little bit ago, Texas State could be a great place to find some of your future employees. And I would say upstream from that, in the YMCA's early education programs, where we run 9 preschools, and we're on 75 campuses for after-school care, is where we can begin to get kids excited about technology and all of that. That happens in and with the YMCA. We're very also focused and committed to equity for all. So if we believe that everyone has the right to quality of life and that all young people have a right to education, then we've got to make sure there's equitable access to get there. This here is a picture of Charlotte, and she volunteers at Lighter Loads events. And so this is from the Town Lake YMCA, because she understands that equity for all can be as simple as providing a hot shower, distributing a bar of soap, a clean pair of socks to those who are experiencing homelessness. And so throughout our communities, you can find the YMCA. And our fourth impact area is around a sustainable future. And this is where I'll spend a few minutes today. Because we believe at the YMCA that we all must take action to ensure environmental and financial sustainability for future generations. And we're going to work relentlessly to protect our natural resources and incorporate environmental education into all of our programs and experiences. And this is very important to us. As we think about, I go back to that World Council meeting that we were on. There were thousands of young people that showed up from all over the world that said, hey, we've got to begin to pay attention to this. And we know, as we think about sustainability in the YMCA, there's a very simple definition that we use, and it's this. It's about meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability for future generations to meet their needs. Why? Because we care about our children and our grandchildren and the generations that will follow us. And so in the why, as we think about this and we think about, well, what can we do to be better to make sure that our future generations have what they need? Well, in many ways, it starts with our operational practices, and it starts with some of our new developments. So right now, we're building an adventure park in a camp. It's known as Camp Moody, out near the Travis County and Hays County line. And what we want to do is build one of the most sustainable camps on the planet. And that's going to take technology to get there. And so when we think about how might we utilize new technology and teach an entire generation of children about the importance of sustainability and how technology can help us to protect our natural resources, to be better stewards of our natural resources. We're taking that thinking and intentionality into this park and into this camp, as well as looking at all of our operations and facilities and buildings and asking how might we be more sustainable with our practices. And so I invite you today to think about the YMCA as a lab. Yes, as the Y Lab. You're loving that, Andres. This is actually an idea that Andres had us think through in a visioning session. Imagine the YMCA being a place that you could test some of the innovations and technologies that you are developing, that you are enhancing. Imagine that maybe at a YMCA, someone could be working out on a treadmill, and that energy could be harnessed and sent to a grid, and now they're powering another community and making something happen. And imagine that happening with thousands of people all over the country or all over the world and getting involved in it. Imagine us building cabins at our new park and our camp that are being made in a way that they're carbon neutral or maybe even resource positive. And we're testing new technologies that you and your companies are developing to help make that happen. There's so much that we can do. Imagine harnessing just the energy that's being created in the fitness center and heating a swimming pool to make that happen. All of this is possible today through smarter systems and smarter technologies. And I know that if we combine our strengths, we can test new technologies and ideas, we can leverage smart operations, and we can educate the next generation to continue this great work and become leaders in this fourth industrial revolution in a really big way. And so if I had a call to action for you today, it would be this: to think about the YMCA as a partner in your work, in all that we do. Here's the thing, the YMCA serves everyone. We like to say from cradle to career. We used to say to grave, but I'm not using that anymore. We'll go with cradle to career to retirement to beyond. We have people of all ages, and we're here to be partners with you as we create a community toward a sustainable future. And there's lots of roles, from board members to being thought leaders with us, and once again to think of us as a lab for your technology. So I thank you for your time today. Once again, we're very excited to be a part of CEDAR and to learn and grow together. Thank you.